Hey, it's Brian Mudd. This is my cheat sheet for Wednesday, September 12th. Later today, we get the iPhone 5 unveiling. And by the way, I do think they're going to have the mini iPad, or whatever they're going to call it, but a smaller version of the iPad announcement. It's going to go head-to-head with the smaller, less expensive tablets like the new Fires that just came out in Google's product. So stay tuned for that. And of course, the complete rundown of final features on the iPhone 5. I've got on a link on my physical cheat sheet today for you to go check out all the features that are anticipated, including the 4G LTE, slightly larger screen size, better resolution. I'm looking for a big enhancement on Siri because Google right now has better voice recognition technology. Anyway, there'll be a myriad of new features and a smaller dock as well, which will make us all buy new cords. Anyway, later today. So let me hit retirement advice here real quick. This was great. I read an article that I've got linked on my physical cheat sheet. An expert from the University of Tampa ended up getting in touch with Bankrate.com and sharing retirement advice. And I have laid out thoughts that I have, which, just principally the box you put in. I don't believe you should have a mortgage or a rent payment in retirement. I don't think you need to carry that burden around with you. And I don't think you need to be, if you're in a compromised financial situation, at risk of losing your home. So my first principle is a mortgage is not part of a retirement plan. I also say that you should not be engaged in principal reduction unless you're uber wealthy. Otherwise, you should create a plan in which you can live off of interest from your investments, which is the point of this particular expert's commentary. How to retire in a low interest rate environment, because it is easier said than done when you've got interest rates of 1 or 2%. So he nailed it. One point that I never brought up and never really thought about myself, but it makes perfect sense. Whatever amount you plan on being able to live on in retirement, live on it for a year in advance. So the number one mistake he's seen people make is that they are anticipating having less income in retirement than they did when they were working prior to it. And they think they can make a go of it. But can you really? So before the year before you plan to retire, live on the amount of money you plan to use per year in retirement and see if it works for you. See if you're happy with the quality of life, if you can even do it. That way, you have time to adjust if you need to. You're not out of the workforce, out of a job, and going, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? So I thought that was super important and a really good point. We don't vote until November, but small businesses already are with their pocketbooks. Not a great piece of information here. The new NFIB survey, National Federation of Independent Business Owners, in their latest survey of small businesses, only 21% of small businesses are planning on investing more money in their businesses over the next 12 months. That is 9 points lower than when the recession began. So here we are, theoretically, more than 3 years into the recovery, right? And you have less small business investment anticipated over the next year than you did over the next year when we were in the beginning of the recession. That doesn't speak well for any number of things, including job creation, right? Remember that just over 2/3 of all of us work for small businesses. And healthcare. We got better news from Kaiser yesterday on healthcare premiums, though not good news, and then not good news for next year. Here's what it turned out to be. Kaiser is saying, in an aggregate of their survey, in terms of how much more we paid for our healthcare plans this year, our piece of it was 4% higher. That is lower than was expected going into this prior year, and it's projected next year our increase will be about 7%, which is not quite as bad as the 9 to 11% as had been anticipated. So those pieces of information are a little bit better. The bad news is you're seeing that higher deductibles are accounting for some of the offsetting costs. More people are opting to go with higher deductibles, $1,000 or more, to try to keep premiums low. Because even at 4%, our income growth isn't keeping up with that. At 7%, it certainly isn't. So the healthcare argument will wage on. For complete information on the Kaiser survey, you can check out the physical cheat sheet. That's it for me for today. Enjoy yours. We'll see you tomorrow.